Agent Romanoff. You miss me?
Oh yeah, Charles, we got ourselves an X-Men fan.
Captain.
Your Highness.
Captain, big fan, Spider-Man. Hey everyone.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Film Artsy. I'm your guy, Trey Baker, and today we're talking about Sony's endgame with the Spider-Man property, specifically that they are trying to head towards the historic Sinister 6. What that means for the upcoming Spider-Man No Way Home movie that we're having coming out like real soon, and the things that you should be expecting later on here with Spider-Man. So let's get started. Before we get right into this video, I do have a question for you. When it comes to the Sinister 6, what character do you want to see the most? Is it Mysterio coming back from the dead as Jake Gyllenhaal? Is it Doc Ock being played by Alfred Molina? Or is there another Sinister 6 member you'd rather see on the big screen? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll tell you mine right at the end of this video. So reports have come out that Sony has not let their long lost dream of having the Sinister 6 come on the big screen quite yet. If you remember, this was their intention with the Amazing Spider-Man for Spider-Man 1 and 2, setting up characters in the Sinister 6, but obviously that all didn't come together very well. It just fell apart in that second movie. The villains were lackluster, Green Goblin was real bad, and Electro was very lame as well, and so the Amazing Spider-Man closed up shop, called it a day, and we never really saw the Sinister 6, although that is definitely as close as we have gotten. Now with the new Spider-Man No Way Home, everyone believes we are right back on track for the Sinister 6 to show up on the big screen. I mean, we all know what we've been doing with that new trailer, especially with the fake trailer came out, not fake trailer, but like undone trailer, and then the trailer came out, we're all looking at every frame, we're like, that dust cloud must be Sandman, and that is this, and that is that, and do you see the lizard shadow, or is that Venom? We don't know, but we're all excited to see the Sinister 6 come together. This is why this report really interested me though, because all of a sudden I'm sitting there going like, well, if this is Sony's endgame, this is what they're saying, is that their ultimate goal with the Spider-Man property is to have the Sinister 6. There's a problem here, because we're all theorizing that in Spider-Man No Way Home, we're getting the Sinister 6. So now I'm sitting there going like, whoa, hold are we not? And this leads me to wondering if maybe we have done over-deduction in the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Or if not, then are they trying to submit Sinister 6 in their own Sony universe? Or, let me give you a third option, is it that we're not going to get finality to all of our villains in Spider-Man No Way Home? Perhaps they get sent back to their previous dimensions, who's to say? So let's explore all of those options. Before we continue this video, I just want to let you guys know that we have an awesome Instagram that updates on a regular basis with all things Marvel, DC, and everything that you love about the movies. So if you haven't already, go follow the Instagram right now. You won't regret it. Now let's get back to the video. Well, the first option is the one that I tend to lean towards here, is we all think we're getting the Sinister 6 in Spider-Man No Way Home. I think a lot of people just, with the, I can't deny that there's some interesting things with the scene breakdowns, and it does look like a tail, and the sand, and it's like, it is interesting. But once again, this movie has so much, and this is what we've said in previous videos, is that you can only do so much. And if we are going to get Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and we definitely know we're getting Jamie Foxx, William Dafoe, and Alfred Molina, don't you think adding more villains just seems a little much? Or a little too soon? And so I'm wondering if maybe some of those glimpses of other villains are not villains that are necessarily going to be participating in Spider-Man No Way Home. Rather, glimpses of villains that are out there in the multiverse that Spider-Man will eventually take on. I mean, we're already having reports that they're connecting Venom to this movie as well, and it just seems like you don't want to do Spider-Man 3 on steroids again. Everyone had a complaint about Spider-Man 3 in the Raimi universe, the universe that we all relatively love. We had Venom, we had Sandman, and we had Hobgoblin, Green Goblin, James Franco, and it was just too much. It's too much. It's too much. And so to have a movie where we're trying to add the Sinister 6 like that seems unlikely. The other thing that makes me think that we're towards maybe the completion of the Sinister 6, or things coming together for that Sinister 6 to come and become that group, is we do have already a crossover that we've seen in the Morbius trailer that we've all forgotten about 12,000 years ago, that Jared Leto is Morbius, and Morbius sees Michael Keaton's Vulture at the end of that trailer. And we're just not talking about that. I know we have like the Sinister 6 OGs with Doc Ock, Mysterio, and whatnot, but there's a lot of conglomerations of different like you could swap characters in and out for those very things. So Morbius being in there would not surprise me. My second thought when it comes to this is that Sony is actually trying to do their own Sinister Six and their Sony universe. Why this is viable is because just because they're doing things with the MCU doesn't mean they have to keep everything from the MCU. The nice thing about the multiverse is you can do whatever the heck you want in your own verse. You know what I mean? If it's your own universe, you do what you want. So they can conveniently grab some characters, maybe their brain dot got back, William Dafoe, who knows, but they could still establish their Sinister Six with their own Sony properties, which would be fine with me, especially if they bring Tom Holland over or they want to go venture to like a Miles Morales Spider-Man to take on the Sinister Six. All this would be very cool, and I do like the way that Sony just feels like they can still make Spider-Man movies. And Into the Spider-Verse was a good movie, and after they made the Spider-Man's movie, they felt a little bit of less self-esteem, but that is definitely a viable option. The last option, which is one that I don't want to be true, but I could see being true, is we might not have finality of our villains in Spider-Man No Way Home. Who's to say where we're left off at the end of that movie? Perhaps we close up some multi-dimensional issues, but I don't think we do. I don't think you have a movie following Spider-Man No Way Home called The Multiverse of Madness because Doctor Strange is like, oh, I figured out the multiverse. In fact, who knows what happens to Tom Holland in this? Or the multiverse? Or anything? Who's to say that Tom Holland doesn't get left in the Sony multiverse where all they had to start doing some movies with him, and Doctor Strange is over here trying to figure out what the heck Wanda's doing with all these villains over here, and then it's like, well, how do you establish the Sinister Six? It's because no one got knocked off in the previous film. Or if they did, it didn't, you know what I mean? There's still ambiguity. What I don't like about that is it makes me feel like the movie could leave lots of dangling carrots that we have to chomp down on for different movie properties, and I'm just not ready for it. You know how many rabbit holes we've been down for just this one Spider-Man No Way Home film? You just think it'll be so much lighter after this? The multiverse opens a can of worms. And if this report is to be true, that means we have a situation where the Sinister Six is still viable, so if it happens in this movie, it's not ending in this movie. If it doesn't happen in this movie, it's coming. It might be Sony's own flavor. Who's to say? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think it's going to be one of three options that I've given you? First, we are going to get the Sinister Six, the one I just talked about here. We're going to get the Sinister Six, but it's not going to be completed in Spider-Man No Way Home. Second, Sony's going to do their own flavor of it and say, hey, we like working with the MCU, but we got our own thing too. Or thirdly, we're not getting the Sinister Six Spider-Man No Way Home. We might just get some establishing villain characters for later on in future films. All these seem viable to me, but what do you think? Also, you guys were wondering who my favorite Sinister Six character is, and it is actually kind of a toss-up between Doc Ock and Mysterio. I really do love Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, but I also have a very deep soft spot for Mysterio. Never thought he would come on the big screen, so seeing him in Spider-Man Far From Home was a huge deal to me. I loved him in the comics, and I love him in the Sinister Six. So those are my picks. And as always, guys, if you like this video and you want to see more, you know what would really help us here? Hey, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and what we even go even farther is answer the question below in the comments. It really does help us here at the channel, and we're trying to give you guys this content on the daily. And as always, guys, until next time, thank you so much for watching. I will see you later.